All right, I got that. Now, in this very, very interesting conversation we're having here, are you able to say anything about the context and the backdrop to the whole history of this planet and the human race, or is that off record? I'm not talking about the detail, I'm talking about the generality of it.
I've seen documented evidence, and I've been shown things. I've been told things about the pyramids that just make sense. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
And I know that people like Arthur C. Clarke knew things, but they again had weaknesses.
Yes.
That put them in his case, Sri Lanka.
Yes.
Out of reach. You know, go and read his books. I'm sure you have.
Yes.
You know, the guy is more or less responsible for the satellites that we use today, and the idea behind them. You know, this is a genius. But he wasn't really. He just knew some stuff. He was present at things. And until they go and until they go back to the moon and put that in a capsule and bring it back, that to me would be quite something. If they bring that piece back, then okay, I might jump on the bandwagon with everybody else on that one. But yeah, you know, I've seen some stuff, and I've had stuff to explain to me, which does make a hell of a lot of sense. Yes.
Okay. Now here.
You see what I'm saying, don't you?
Yes, I do. Yeah. Now, what the big picture is here, which we haven't actually talked about between us, is extraterrestrial involvement.
You've got to be very careful about that. Just put the question bluntly, you know, most people, all the alternative media and a lot of people now, I mean, just look, go back to the 50s, right? If you ask the ordinary man in the street in Walthamstow in England whether he believes in aliens, he'd laugh his head off and go and get some pie and mash. If you ask him today, he may well say, yeah, there has got to be something, because he's educated, he knows that that's vast the universe.
And he's being conditioned by Hollywood movies and television series. Yeah, okay. Which is all part of what I mean, we are being prepared to come to terms with this.
But not for the reasons you think.
For what reasons?
They're going to have nothing to do with us. They're there. If you, all right,
the ETs are going to have...
Let's call a spade a spade. Yeah, they exist. There is no conjecture. They do. Yeah, there is stuff. But you know what? That's no big surprise to 50% of people, shall we say.
Right.
But that number's gone up, hasn't it? You know, more and more people realise, you know, more important, you know, NASA have got more and more slapdash about, and cannot, because of the very thing they've created, the media monster behind trying to get money for the space race.
Yes.
Is still there from the 60s.
Yes.
And people, there is a lot of people that are very interested in it. And so because of that, cameras are on the shuttle. And because of the internet and various people that are clever with the internet, Mr. McKinnon and people like that, who I know very well.
Did you know Gary McKinnon?
I'll tell you a story about him later on.
Off record? Yeah. That's a shame. Okay. All right. We're talking about cameras on the shuttle and people that are clever with computers.
What I'm trying to say is, you can't, there's so many now.
Yes.
You can't keep your lid on everything.
You're saying it's impossible to hide the reality.
And there's a certain piece of video that is quite prevalent on the internet, of a circular thing rolling behind a tether.
Yes, I know that one.
That's factual.
Yes.
A couple of miles across, but it's not a ship, and things aren't what you think they are out there. You should regard space more as an ocean.
Okay.
Yeah. We've got no right to turn around and say intelligent or unintelligent, you know, because then what you're doing, you're comparing things to your intellect, aren't you?
Okay.
And how can you compare that to a human?
Are you stating this as a fact?
Absolutely.
A fact. And what you're talking about here is you're talking about large living beings, like big kind of...
And small.
And small living beings.
Look at it this way, if you've got a shark swimming through the ocean, he's got fish swimming all around him most of the time, picking up morsels, servicing him, and he doesn't eat them. They go right in his mouth.
Yes.
And come out, you know, that's a natural thing,
Yeah.
Is it so far-fetched for you to understand that that could be the situation out there?
Okay. But at the same time, there are some, what we could regard as metallic craft, things that you could call spacecraft.
Right.
As well.
Yeah.
Right.
But, tell you what, I've got an axe to grind here, so let me grind my axe. Right?
You do that.
Okay, so here you are, you're an alien, yeah, you're on the other side of the universe, right, for instance, yeah. You're in Orion, yeah, you're that far away. Yeah, you're in your ship and you're flying all the way here, and you cross intergalactic space in a fantastic piece of machinery. Yeah, and then you crash in Nevada.
Right.
Rubbish.
Okay.
Rubbish. You're shot down.
Okay.
That's what happened to you.
Yes.
Because you didn't think that there was any kind of particle weapon or kinetic weapon that could do that.
Yes.
Because you wasn't prepared, because it was the first time you came.
Yes. It was got something to do with radar, wasn't it? They discovered that radar would actually do this.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Well, it was quite an aggressive... It wasn't an accident.
Okay. I've got you. So you're saying that the so-called crashes weren't crashes, they're actually offensive actions which were discovered...
And I ask you to understand that because you don't cross intergalactic space and then crash in Nevada, do you?
I understand that.
You see, that's my axe there, so sorry, go on.
I've got you, that's fine. So you're saying that initially there was a way of bringing the craft down that was discovered by accident, and then it was, more or less, and then it was fairly quickly...
A deliberate attempt.
Utilised.
Amazing that it worked.
Yes, right.
And then when it did, so
it's a lucky hit, and then they started to get focused about it.
Yeah, well, they realised that it could be done, and then went down the avenue of trying to figure out how they done it and what actually did cause it, and they needed to look at the thing they brought down to do that.
Yes, and then
they educated them, so they became much better at it.
Yes, because then you got the Americans mainly, I guess. Was it only the Americans? Did this happen in every country?
No, let's drop the borders and the nationalities.
Okay. So then you got people who are pretty smart, who got their hands on this ET technology, and that was never part of the setup. That was never part of the plan, was it?
No.
It was never part of the plan.
No.
Okay. And what kind of problems has that caused?
Well, you know what we're like. It's not caused... They want to go. We're going to be the visitors.
So that's what the selection's about. Okay, it's about creating a sort of space crew, or a
and remember,
new...
this is second hand, so...
I understand that. A new breed of humanity who will be well equipped to go off into the cosmos, like the Crusaders.
Yeah. Yeah, like the Crusaders.
Like the Crusaders, and it's like it's like you've got the spirit of the Crusaders, and you give them extraterrestrial technology to move with.
There you go.
And then...
And are any of us in any doubt that we're going to start planet hopping within the next century? Are you actually in any doubt with the technologies available now? Because we're doing it with robots.
Personally, I'm in no doubt at all that we've got a Mars base.
Oh, right, okay.
Is this something you've ever heard about?
Yes.
Okay. Can you say anything about that?
No.
All right. Okay. Do you want that off record?
No.
Okay. All right. That's fine. But for sure, most people who I've spoken to about this subject, who really feel that they do know something about it, will say that we've got all kinds of technology that you wouldn't, let's say that it makes the space shuttle look like a Model T Ford, or perhaps a horse and buggy. So it implies that there are a lot of those crafts, and we're very, very far advanced.
Well, I'll tell you something about those craft that's never come out.
Tell me.
Right, you've got you go to Mexico and something's a mile across, and then you come to Nevada and it's 600 feet across.
Okay.
It's triangular.
Right, yeah.
All right. So how about it being 10 triangles that can lock in together and fly in the same formation?
Oh, okay.
And then they can split.
Okay. They fit together like bricks?
Yeah.
Or like pieces?
And can do that in motion.
Okay. Is this and these are our craft you're talking about?
Yeah.
And
modular.
Yeah. And you're telling...
So you can see how easy that would be to confuse every individual, because one day it's a star and the next day it's a triangle.
Okay.
And then it can split up and go in all different directions.
Okay.
You can try and explain that. It's got to be extraterrestrial, hasn't it? If it can split up into 10 different pieces when it was one craft and then disappear off quite quickly in all different directions.
Okay. And you have been told this?
I've not just been told it, I've seen it.
You've seen it? Okay. Okay.